7 agro-businesses that thrive in tough climates. Now, you might think farming is all about rolling green hills and fields full of fluffy sheep, but let me tell you, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Out there, in the most unforgiving corners of the world, where the sun scorches and the wind howls, there are farmers doing things differently. They're not just surviving, they're bloody thriving, and they're doing it by embracing innovation and resilience. From ancient desert crops to futuristic indoor farms, these 7 agro-businesses are proving that with a bit of ingenuity, you can grow just about anything, anywhere. So buckle up, because we're about to take a bumpy ride through the world of extreme agriculture. Farming in tough climates might sound challenging, but innovative techniques and resilient crops make it not just possible, but highly profitable. From arid deserts to frosty terrains, these 7 agro-businesses are thriving even under extreme conditions, proving that adaptability is the key to success. Before we get started, subscribe, like, and comment on Global Fact Trends. Tell us which of these ideas inspires you the most to embrace the world of resilient farming. Right, let's talk dates. No, not the kind you take a girl to impress her. I'm talking about the sticky, sweet fruit that grows on palm trees. And not just any palm trees, mind you. These are date palms, the kings of the desert. These fellas laugh in the face of scorching heat and bone-dry conditions. They're practically indestructible. You see, date palms have this incredible ability to thrive where most crops would simply wither and die. They've got deep roots that tap into underground water sources, and their leaves are like solar panels, perfectly designed to soak up every last drop of sunlight. And the best part? The fruit. Dates are packed with nutrients, they're naturally sweet, and you can store them for ages. No wonder they're a staple food in the Middle East and North Africa. But it's not just about tradition, oh no. The global demand for dates is skyrocketing, and that's making date palm farming a very lucrative business indeed. So, if you've got a patch of desert and you're not afraid of a bit of hard work, then date palm farming might just be your ticket to success. Just watch out for camel spiders, they're nasty little blighters. Now, I know what you're thinking. Fish and farming? Sounds like a recipe for disaster, or at the very least, a very smelly backyard. But trust me on this one, aquaponics is the real deal. It's like something out of a science fiction film, only it actually works. Imagine this. You've got a tank full of fish, right? Tilapia, catfish, whatever tickles your fancy. These fish, they do what fish do. They eat, they swim, and they produce waste. Now, normally that waste would just pollute the water, but not in aquaponics. Instead, the fish waste is pumped into a separate tank where it's broken down by bacteria into nutrients. And what do plants need to grow? That's right, nutrients. So the nutrient-rich water is then pumped into a grow bed where your vegetables, herbs, or even fruits are happily growing. The plants absorb the nutrients, cleaning the water in the process, and then the clean water is pumped back to the fish. It's a beautiful, self-sustaining cycle. And the best part? Aquaponics uses a fraction of the water needed for traditional farming, which is a godsend in drought-prone areas. Plus, you get fresh fish and veggies all year round. It's a win-win situation, really. Now, I love a good Hereford cow as much as the next farmer, but let's be honest, those pampered princesses wouldn't last 5 minutes in a real desert. No, for that, you need something tougher, something hardier. Something like a Caracool sheep, for example. These woolly wonders are practically bulletproof. They can withstand scorching temperatures, freezing cold, and they can survive on practically anything. And they're not the only ones. Yaks, camels, alpacas, these animals are built for extreme conditions. They've got thick coats to insulate them from the cold. They can go for days without water, and they're tough as nails. And let's not forget, they provide valuable resources: meat, milk, wool, hides, you name it. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Raising livestock in tough climates is hard work, but it's also incredibly rewarding. You're working with nature, not against it, and you're producing high-quality, sustainable products. Plus, there's something incredibly satisfying about seeing a herd of camels thriving in a place where most animals wouldn't stand a chance. Chapter 4. Beekeeping liquid gold from the hardest workers. You know, most people think of bees and they think of picnics and flowers and maybe the odd sting. But me, I think of bees and I think of business. Because let's be honest, bees are the hardest workers in the natural world. They pollinate our crops, they produce honey, and they do it all without complaining. And the best part is, they can do it just about anywhere. From the scorching deserts of Africa to the frozen wastelands of the Arctic, bees have adapted to survive and thrive in some of the most extreme environments on Earth. And that means there are opportunities for beekeeping all over the globe. Now, I'm not saying it's a walk in the park. Beekeeping takes skill, dedication, and a tolerance for the occasional sting, but the rewards are well worth it. Honey, beeswax, propolis, these are all valuable products that are in high demand. And with the global decline in bee populations, sustainable beekeeping is more important than ever. So if you're looking for a challenging but rewarding business venture, why not consider giving beekeeping a go? Just be sure to wear a suit. Chapter 5: Quinoa Cultivation, the superfood from the Andes. Now, I'm not one for fads, but there's no denying that quinoa is having a bit of a moment. This ancient grain, hailing from the Andes Mountains of South America, has become a global sensation, and for good reason too. It's packed with protein, it's gluten-free, and it's got a nutty, satisfying flavor. But here's the thing about quinoa: it's tough as nails. This superfood thrives in conditions that would make most crops curl up and die. It can handle high altitudes, poor soil, drought, frost, you name it. Quinoa can take it, and that makes it the perfect crop for farmers in challenging climates. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jeremy, I'm not sure my customers are ready for quinoa. Well, let me tell you, the demand for this superfood is through the roof. People are willing to pay top dollar for high-quality, sustainably grown quinoa. So, if you've got a patch of land that's a bit rough around the edges, don't despair. Quinoa might just be the answer to your prayers. Chapter 6: Hydroponic Farming, Growing Green Without the Ground. Now, I know what you're thinking. Farming without soil? Sounds a bit unnatural, doesn't it? Like those tomatoes that taste of absolutely nothing? But bear with me, because hydroponics is a game changer. Imagine this. You're in the middle of the desert, surrounded by miles of sand and not a drop of rain in sight. But inside your climate-controlled greenhouse, it's a different story altogether. Rows upon rows of leafy greens, juicy tomatoes, even strawberries, all thriving in a nutrient-rich water solution. No soil, no pests, no back-breaking labor. That's the beauty of hydroponics. It allows you to create the perfect growing environment, regardless of what's happening outside. And because you're not relying on rainfall, you can conserve water, which is crucial in arid regions. Now, I'll admit, hydroponics does require a bit of an upfront investment. You've got to build your greenhouse, set up your irrigation system, and get your nutrient solution just right. But once you're up and running, the possibilities are endless. You can grow just about anything, year-round. And because you're producing high-quality, locally grown produce, you're sure to find a market for your crops. Chapter 7: Cactus Farming, Prickly Profits from Arid Lands. Now, I'm not suggesting you go and hug a cactus, because that would be a very bad idea. But I am suggesting that you consider the humble cactus as a potential cash crop. Yes, you heard me right. Cacti, those prickly, resilient plants that thrive in the harshest of environments, are becoming big business. Take the prickly pear, for example. It's not just a pretty face, you know. The fruit is delicious, the pads are edible, and it's even used in cosmetics. And then there's agave, the plant that gives us tequila. But agave is more than just a party drink. It's also a source of natural sweeteners, and it's being used to develop biofuels. The beauty of cactus farming is that it requires very little input. Cacti are drought tolerant, they're pest resistant, and they can grow in poor soil. That means low overheads and high profits. And with the growing demand for sustainable and exotic products, cactus farming is an industry with huge potential. So if you've got a patch of dry, arid land that's not suitable for traditional crops, don't despair. Cacti might just be the answer to your prayers. Just be careful of the spines. So there you have it. 7 agro-businesses that are not just surviving, but thriving in some of the toughest climates on Earth. From ancient desert crops to cutting-edge hydroponics, these businesses are proving that with a bit of ingenuity and a lot of hard work, we can grow food just about anywhere. And in a world facing climate change and increasing food insecurity, that's a message we all need to hear. Adapting to tough climates is no longer a hurdle with these resilient agro-business ideas. Whether it's cultivating superfoods or leveraging innovative farming techniques, these businesses prove that even the harshest environments can yield success. Which of these ideas inspired you to take the leap into agro-business? Let us know in the comments below, and stay tuned to Global Fact Trends for more groundbreaking farming insights.